Good morning. How is everyone? Robin, I just saw that you've joined. I need to speak with you later, so I'll message you after this. Okay. All right, let's get started. So we're doing this guide today, and we're going to do this one because you can add to it throughout the week when you have a bit more extra time. Hi, Patty from Costa Rica. So this one, we're going to do all of the brown, like, stick part first, if you know what I mean. And then you can add the leaves whenever you feel like it. The leaves are just straight stitches, really small, and they're going to come off of the twigs or sticks. Okay. So I've got a little pen and an extra hoop laying around over here because I want to show you how to do the stitch before we start stitching it. So with this one, it's kind of like the fly stitch, but it's called a feather stitch. So with the fly stitch, I'll do it on the back so you can see. Yeah, these are all going to be necklaces. Isn't that cute? So with the fly stitch, you kind of go like this, yeah? Up and down, and then you have a little tacking stitch here, right? Yeah? So yesterday we did up on this side, down on this side, and then you tack it like that. So you kind of make Ys, right? With the feather stitch, you don't do this stitch here. You just go into another V, I guess. So it takes the Y and turns into a V. So we're going to do this with a mixture of the fly stitch and the feather stitch. So you can kind of see up and down like this, and then up and down like this, and then up and down like this until you finally get the twig shape. Okay? So hopefully that will make sense. So obviously you'll end with a fly stitch here with that straight line, but all the rest of the sticks and twigs will be the feather stitch. So I tend to mix up myself when I'm explaining it to you. So hopefully that didn't happen. I'm going to use 4 strands for this because I just think that 6 is going to be a little bit too bold for me. And then I'm actually using a different brown than I used before. Obviously, you can use the same brown if you want to. This one's just a bit more red, and this one's a bit more not red. Okay, so let me take 2 strands out, and then I can show you how 4 strands looks. Good morning. And then when I go to do the other part, hopefully if I run out of thread, I can show you how to do the no knot start as well. I could just do it now with the 2 strands, huh? And just have a short one to work with first. I'll do that. I'll help you guys out. Okay. So here we go. The no knot start. Obviously, I've got 2 strands because I've just taken 2 strands out and put the 4 strands over there, yeah? So if you are using like embroidery thread on a t-shirt or a sweater or a bag or even a cushion, and you don't want to have all of those knots on the back and have the possibility that they will come undone, what you can do is do the no knot start. I made that up, okay? I don't know if that's what it's called or not. It's probably called like a cross stitch start or something. So you've got your 2 strands here and your 2 strands here. That's the other end. And then down here is your loop. Okay? See it? So you're going to keep the loop down there. And you're going to put these 4 strands into your needle. Okay, like that. And then we're going to start start with that. So let's see if this works with the feather stitch. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one because it's quite long, right in the middle. So come up and go down. Loop start, yeah. Okay, so before you go so we need to keep this loop here, yeah? But before you actually pull it through all the way, let me make the loop bigger so that it's not so, there we go. So before you pull this through all the way to start your regular stitching, you're gonna put this needle through like this. And then it should end like that. So it's gonna be caught like that. So it's nice and flat and you have no knots, okay? So back to the feather stitch. So obviously this one takes some adjusting because I have to pull that. So the next one, just like the fly stitch, I'm getting them all mixed up. I hope this makes sense, guys. You're gonna pull it through, but instead of going down right here, we're gonna go up to the next point. Okay, so you're just gonna continue making these V's. Yeah, so look for the next V. And you can obviously like keep going all the way if you want to. And there might be some times where you have to do a straight stitch, you know? And there's no like right way to do this or anything like that. So I'm just gonna do a straight little fly stitch with a tacking stitch there, or you could have not done the one that I did just there and gone straight down and then made that a separate one. But again, it's all okay. And with this one, you can add more if you want to, or less if you want to. If you're like, this is too many branches, I don't want to do that many, then don't do that many. What is that? Okay, so we'll end that there. And yeah, you can always add more. So if you ever feel like it's too empty or anything like that, then jump in there and add some more. And I'm jumping all the way around here. Normally, I do not like doing this because I don't like to see the thread through the fabric. So if you, let me loosen this. Oh, goodness. So if you see here, you can see the thread go from down here all the way up there. But I'm actually going to cover this all up with little leaves coming off all the way around with those straight stitches. So actually it's fine if you have to jump around a little bit like that because we're gonna cover it. So it doesn't really matter that much. I hope you guys like this stitch. I know some people really like it, but some people do not. But I think that's like pretty par for the course. Is that how you say it? With a lot of embroidery stitches, you'll find which ones that you kind of like gel with, meaning that like you just get it and you can get to a nice rhythm and like you don't really have to think that much. Whereas other times you'll find stitches that you're like, nope, that one's not for me. And that's fine. That's like the whole point of the stitch along, is just to try a little bit. If you're looking at this and thinking, one, I really hate that, I don't like how it looks, then just use straight stitches or just use the fly stitch. You can do just nice straight stitches here and they won't get that like bend in them. They won't look so bendy. But if you like it, then do it. If not, then don't. And that's another reason why a lot of times people will stitch with me, like along with me, and they'll say, I got to the end and I was like, I had already done it all and I finished when you finished, but at the same time, I didn't like it, so I took it out. Which is fine. It's totally fine. It just makes me laugh because sometimes it's like you want to stitch with someone, but then in the end, you actually don't like the stitch. But it's part of learning, eh? So that's all right. And like I said at the very first day, like this is all about learning, trying something new. Oops, this is too short now. Oh, thanks, Patty. She says, I love it. I'm going to buy this pattern tomorrow. It must be so like late at night in Costa Rica. Okay, so obviously I've run out of thread. So I'm going to flip her over. Do a little knot. Obviously, I've shown before about the knots, but you can do the twisty method like this, where you make a loop. Or you can separate it into 2 and 2 strands. I'm going to show the leaves in just a minute. Yep. Oops. So I'm just using the eye of my needle to really get that knot close to the fabric. You really don't want to pull so tight on these knots, just because sometimes you can really pull the thread through and you'll make that pucker in the fabric. So just make sure that you're pulling your knot tight, but you're not pulling it so tight that the fabric is affected. Yeah. Okay, so I've just got the 4 strands from before because I separated 2 out, folded it in half for the loop method, the no knot start. And now I'll just do a little knot in the end and finish this up with just a couple straight stitches. So I'm just going to go from here to here, here to here, you know, so each one is separate. With just a back stitch, which is probably what we should have started with on the very first day, but I have more faith in you guys than you have in yourself, I think. Okay, so this is a common mistake as well, is that people will go up through, let me see if I can do it again, like this, or it's not quite at the end, so it like distorts the threads there. So just be a little bit careful when you're doing your back stitches, like really close to the other stitches. Because sometimes when you go up through the same hole, you're actually piercing through the thread, and then that will make them do a little, you know, a whoop like that. There we go. So that's finished, eh? And like I said, you can add more, you can add less if you are like, no, I'm not feeling this. It's your hoop. You have to look at it, you know? Unless you're going to give it away, and then who cares? So there we go. So we've got all of our branches, twigs out. So let's grab a green color and we'll just do some little straight stitches all the way around. Is that a bit too close to? It's like the same color. A nice wholesome green. Kind of want a light green, but maybe this will have to do. I say that, but I have so many other green colors down here. So I definitely could pick another one if I wanted a brighter color. A good way to pick your colors is to put the brown that you're using in with the other colors and see if they match together. Sometimes, like, I wouldn't necessarily pick these two together. They're a bit, ooh, you know? So sometimes you can really pick the color just by putting it up against another color and saying, okay, that goes together or that doesn't go together. A variegated thread would be good for this as well because we're going to do such little stitches. So it'll give the effect of lots of different colors with very minimal effort. Shall I do that? Yeah, okay. Changed my mind. Yeah, so sometimes using variegated threads, you have to be a little bit careful just because the color does change. So you really don't want to have, well, in my opinion, you really don't want to have all of the color in one section. You kind of want to spread it out a little bit. And that will make it look a little bit more natural because you don't want to have like all of the dark color on this side and all of the light color on this side. At least I wouldn't want to. So let's see if we need to separate this a little bit. I might do 4 strands of this as well, just so that it keeps consistent with the branches. Hannah says yes, so I'm doing it. The variegated thread will look awesome. And Katie says, oh yeah, variegated. I have a green variegated I've been looking for a use for. Then this is perfect. You are welcome. So I'm going to use the darkest color first. So I'm going to put, oops. Why are you sticking out? So I'm going to put the lighter color through the end. And do a knot at the darkest color. So wherever you do your knot, that's the color that's going to come first. You do not have to use variegated thread, okay? If you don't have any, don't run out and go buy some. You don't have to, all right? You could easily do this, use the variegated, like make a variegated thread look just by using different colors of green. So off the top of my, that's brown. You could do something like this. So if you have a lot of thread, but you don't have variegated thread, you could always do, first do a couple leaves, scatter them around with the darkest color, and then a couple leaves with the medium color, and then a couple leaves with the lightest color and scatter them around. And that will give a really nice effect as well. So please don't run out and go buy things if you have a lot of thread at home already, because, sorry, I missed. How many strands are you using for this? For the leaves, I've got 4. For the branches, I've got 4. So all we're gonna do here is just do some straight stitches around here. What is that? Oh my goodness. Oh, have you guys seen the, what's it, Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance thing with the sailor lady singing at the top of the lighthouse? Oh my goodness, it cracks me up every time. She's like singing and then like, it's ridiculous. So literally, we're just doing straight stitches all the way around. And she's wearing like some kind of like corset number. cracks me up. And because I have the variegated thread, I'm just going to scatter the darkest color around wherever I go. Behave. So I'm not going into the branches. I'm just making them go, kind of like tucking them underneath of it a little bit, so the branches, you can still see them, but I'm not actually like piercing through the branches. I'm just going right up under. And the reason I'm going all around like this, like I said, is because I have a variegated thread. So I'm trying to take the darkest color green and spread it around the tree. So if you wanted to have all of the dark color green in one section and have it be like an ombre effect where it kind of gets lighter and lighter and lighter as you go across, then just fill these up as much as you want to. If you want to spread them out like I'm doing, then you want to jump around. I know someone's going to ask, Tori, when do you stop making these leaves? Whenever you feel like it. So you can make as many leaves on there as you want to, or as few leaves on there as you want to. If you're like, I've done my little pop of color on there. You don't even have to do leaves if you don't want to. Because I've chosen a lighter color as well, it doesn't really matter that I'm jumping around. We should do a singing corset stitch along next time. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? We saw that commercial on television the other day, that Jean-Paul Gaultier one. Gaultier. And me and David just looked at each other like, what the hell is this? Oh, it cracked us up. But that looks so cute with little daisy stitches as the leaves too. Yeah, of course you can. Lazy daisy stitches. If you do that, I would definitely use less strands than this. Okay. So if you're going to do those, I would do maybe 3 or even 2 strands. We're also going to do leaves on this tree here, but this is going to look more like a pine tree. So they're going to be really small, like 2 strands, and we're going to do a bunch of them on each side. So keep that in mind too, that maybe you don't want to add so many on this one, or maybe you want to add some reds or oranges, so it kind of looks like an autumn type tree instead of like in the middle of winter. Are you kidding me? I gotta find a new station now. Actually, last year I found a really nice Christmas Carol one. It was just instruments, so there was no words, and it was so lovely. And I can't find it yet, but I'm trying to save it until December so that you guys don't kill me. Because I'm very aware that a lot of people are not keen for Christmas yet. It seems like you're in like one of 2 camps. Either you're like, screw it, let's do it, you know, like Home Depot style. Isn't that Home Depot's motto? Or is that Lowe's? I forget. But you're either screw it, let's do it. Or maybe that's Virgin, actually. I don't remember. But you're either screw it, let's do it, or you're like, no, not till after Thanksgiving. Just looking now, this is a little bit bare. So if you wanted, you could add another little brown leaf there. Okay, so this one and this one, because we have so many, let me zoom it out. Because we have so many leaves that you could possibly add, I am going to leave it as a, like, you can do this work over the weekend type situation. So don't feel like you have to add all of them right now. The main stitch today was the feather stitch. And then you have to use the fly stitch to end some of them. So that's mainly like what we worked on. But I could just sit here and add these straight stitches over and over and over, like all the time, because it's just so nice. But you can kind of see how the light color and the dark color of the variegated thread makes it look like the leaves are different colors, which is really nice. Come on. Now remember, these are only 4 strands, so they are going to look a little bit more delicate than if they were 6. So if you are going to use 6, and maybe you don't have to put as many in because they're going to be a little bit more noticeable. I'm going to stop there because, like I said, I could literally add leaves for days because I just like the way that it looks. So today is Wednesday. We've got this one with the leaves, and then this one here also has leaves. So I'm going to try and put that so that there's time on the weekend for you guys to finish it so you don't feel stressed out. Again, it's something you can do in the evening, like after you've already done the sticks, the twigs, the branches, and everything like that. So please don't feel stressed if you're like, wow, I have to add all of those little things in. That's too much. I totally understand. You don't have to do it all right now. So this is what we've got so far. It's so cute. I didn't turn the big light on, the big overhead light on. I didn't do it today, but this is what we've got. I just noticed it's a little bit dark. So there. It's so cute. All right, so that's it from me today. Be sure to tag me at the Barmy Fox and use the hashtag the Barmy Fox SAL, and then I can like and repost your hoops. They're looking so good so far. You have no idea. So many people have never stitched before, and I'm like, stop lying straight to my face because they look so amazing. So I'm seriously so proud. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely, lovely Wednesday, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. All right. Bye.